Bomber 075. Like I said, a lot of my aircraft from Germany or my German aircraft, my aircraft had rear engine, piston driven Rolls-Royce Merlin engines. And most of them could actually literally fly around the world. In other words, you could jump out of the aircraft and it would circumnavigate the whole planet and then come back to you, basically. Um, so, literally, like, you could jump out and go and land, blah, blah, blah. And 12 or 24 hours later, the aircraft would be like, and you'd see the aircraft flying overhead until it finally ran out of fuel and go, and could practically land right on top of you. Some aircraft, like I said, could literally fly around the world and back on autopilot. Just turn on the autopilot, click, and then jump out and parachute to the ground, and 24 or whatever hours later, the aircraft would be flying right overhead again. Pretty cool, actually, considering. Anyway, though, like I said, many people were trying to steal a nuclear bomb or whatever. And like I said, they might have claimed engine failure or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, a lot of my aircraft had dual rotating props. In other words, one prop going this way and one prop going that way. And sometimes if the oil was low or blah, blah, the gearboxes would overheat and would catch on fire. Which is a very bad thing, as they say. It was very well known that my counter-rotating props had problems sometimes. If the oil wasn't right, or if it was the wrong kind of, or if the oil in the gearbox was low or too high or whatever, something like that, the oil would get too hot and it would boil, or whatever else, or something like that. So the counter-rotating props always had problems. I invented the counter-rotating prop. Somehow, I forget exactly how I did it, but I did it. Basically, I gave them a couple ideas for the counter-rotating prop, and they worked on them and did them. Anyway, like I said, many people were trying to steal nuclear bombs, so they could go, ah! And like I said, Papa, or like I said, if you want to sell ordnance and weapons, go contact the Bloods and the Crips, Papa's group and gang. They want to blow up the world. So did Richard Nixon and JFK. They want to blow up the world as well. Papa wants to tear it down, burn it to the ground, a plague upon the world. Some black guy. Some 80-year-old black guy. He's probably dead now. So, like I said, if you want to give weapons to someone that wants to kill or blow up the world, give them to Papa. Mr. Black, Mr. Brown. He wanted to carpet bomb the whole world and kill off all the white people. Or all the people that were white or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, he wanted to imprison and enslave the whole world or whatever. Just some crazy Bloods and Crips guy. Like I said, his daddy went off to rape some German woman, and it didn't work out, as the German woman defended herself or something like that. And then more of Papa's boys, the Bloods and the Crips, the black people, went to go and kill those what's it called? They were trying to get me on board, but like I said, I found out the truth, that they were trying to rape some German women. Like I said, I had taught the Germans and the German women to defend themselves. So, anyway, she was married or something like that. So anyway, and that started the race war, or typist war, between the blacks and the whites, or something like that. A bunch of black people were trying to rape some white women, and they didn't want to have sex with them, or be with them, or something like that. I don't really know. Like I said, you'll have to research the Bloods and the Crips, or the Beads and the Crops, as they were called once. Anyway, like I say, a lot of the weapons for Vietnam actually came from Harvard, or a black group of people that were working outside of Harvard, and they were designing claymores and other kinds of things. It was a black group of people. A black school that was stationed that was built right outside of Harvard. A free school for black people, basically. Anyway, what they decided to do with their time was basically create guns and weapons. So anyway, and that's where most of the Vietnam weapons came from, or something like that. I don't know. I don't care. Like I said, what a few people did that were stupid, when I tried to help them or give them science and technology. I don't know. And like I said, it was all German stuff anyway. It's all German inventions anyway. So, anyway, whatever. Like I said, it's for the whole or for the group. But most things could be tracked back. Most of the bad things could be tracked back to Harvard, Yale, or the Republicans or the Democrats, the aristocrats. Anyway, a bunch of fake people, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I don't really care. I am a creator of civilizations and leader of the planet. I created civilizations for the human race, the 1.5, the exoskeletons, and many other life forms throughout the universe. Epic civilization creator. I took a vacation and things went bad. Like I said, I don't really know. I really don't care. There's a bunch of people who didn't have anything who wanted to have something, or wanted to be rich and powerful, or go all the way, or just be known about. I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, they were trying to kill me. So. I guess killing the creator of humanity would make you famous. So, anyway. Like I said, Brian originally was not the creator or whatever. I became Brian. Or I am Brian. So, anyway. From wherever I looked down, I saw poor little Brian. I made Brian president. I made Brian a lot of things. Because I cared about him. And whatever. Time, space, relativity, blah, blah, blah. But the person you see before you is Lucifer Star. White Star Lines. So, anyway, like I say, good luck to you. I don't really care. But anyway, like I say, Germany I was having aircraft shipped over to America, as I bought and owned America, so therefore America was now my country. A lot of people in America, a lot of Confederates and Yankees may not have agreed with me owning or building or buying America. But like I said, I named this country. I basically bought this country, then I named it America. Not the UN anything. United nothing. It's just simply America. A dictatorship! Well, I did dictate, as in I blah, 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 blah. So, technically, I guess I am a dictator, as I dictate or say to people what I want them to do, and then they did it. Like I say, using my civilian submarines to go pirate on Chinese ships was not part of what I was doing. There's no reason why I would want to pirate or use Chinese or do anything like that. A bunch of people stole my civilian submarines. For the first time, I was letting some civilian submarines be used for civilians. They could rent them. So, along with other things, they started putting torpedoes inside of them. Like I said, I believe the torpedo tubes were welded shut, as in they couldn't use them. But I guess they cut the welds or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and then a bunch of people were saying, well, in 1960, we didn't have that kind of technology. We were fighting against Hitler. The sun can only go down about 400 feet. We're stuck with it. It's like, that's what the manual said. That's because there were civilian submarines. We didn't have blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, of course you didn't. It was a civilian submarine. It wasn't military. You weren't supposed to be pirating ships. You weren't supposed to be doing commando raids on islands. What were you thinking? You know, some guy appears at a dock with a submarine and just said, hey, come on, guys, let's go do commando raids. And they start selecting people that want to rape women. You know, like I say, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Trying to say they're star or something like that, or some general. It's like, they're not. They had nothing to do with me. They're civilian submarines. I paid for the paint job on them, because they were old classic submarines that I liked. They were my old submarines. So, anyway, a bunch of people just put their foot in their mouth, basically. It's like, well, if you don't mind, you know. Anyway, the Japanese, the Chinese, and and even the Irish people would have to deal with those crazy pieces of shit inside of my classic submarine rentals. They figured that they were day use only submarines. In other words, they weren't supposed to go more than a day from Pearl Harbor. Basically, just to cruise around, check things out. They figured that blah blah blah. It would be day sometime or something like that, so it didn't really matter. I said, you have to go talk to some congressmen or some people in the Congress, which just meant to fornicate. Anyway, I said a lot of people thought that I was a pirate or a blah blah blah. They were trying to pretend like I was their leader. It's like, no, I was not your leader. JFK or Jimmy Carter, some black piece of shit, was your leader. Like, you were a shit group. That's why you ended up with those Chinese or Japanese flags. Those Japanese and people were working for me, and I was very proud of them at the time. So, anyway, and that's why your daddy said that those flags could never go home or be known about. Anyway, I guess he told you the truth, and you weren't man enough to tell the world the truth about what your dad had done, what you had done. Like I said, it's funny to call yourself an alpha male or Alfa Romeo or alpha anything and be acting like a shit person lying. So, anyway, whatever. Trying to go against the creator, trying to go against the person that's building your civilization. Trying to go all the way. All the way to what? To actually talking to me? Like I said, I knew Nixon was a liar. I could just feel it. And besides, especially what he was saying about the Japanese or Chinese people, the Asians had never lied. In 2 million years, or some great amount of time, they had never been liars. They had never lied about things. So when Nixon called them a liar, I knew in fact that he was lying. So, anyway, the Chinese were saying things. The Chinese are honest. The Asians are honest. And I had many dealings with Asia myself. Or the slant eyes, as they say. Like I said, I don't like to call them slant eyes because that's a racial slur. They're Orientals or Asians or basically those people that occupy China and Japan. And they're very good people. And we're very loyal and very honest. Maybe even too honest. And I love them very much. I love the Irish people too. So anyway. Like I said, I had done many mediations. And had dealt with many things. And many things had been done on my request. Anyway. My direct request. Anyway. The children and the people of the future and other people will just have to deal with it. Anyway, it's unfortunate. Like I said, it came out that a lot of the Asians had been locked up in jail while the Congress or whoever stole their submarines and went and pirated and did horrible things with them. And then they were blamed for those actions. Like I said, someone found the logbook some 100 years later telling about the actions of whatever. Like I said, and the black people turned out to be really horrible people as they were trying to ram my White Star submarines or sink them. I mean, my White Star ships or sink them. It's funny considering that Black Star was one of my groups. It's funny to have one of my, I don't know, and maybe one of my groups was actually fighting against the rest of the black people. Like I said, we were a family. And those ships, the Black Star Line, was supposed to be working for me. It's supposed to be part of the family. Anyway, I don't know. Their actions are on their head.